In the small village of Ogbo, nestled in the heart of Africa, two young women, Amaka and Neoma, formed an unbreakable bond. They met while fetching water from the village well and quickly discovered they shared a love for storytelling, dancing, and exploring the surrounding forests. As they grew older, their friendship deepened. Amaka and Neoma became inseparable, sharing secrets, supporting each other through thick and thin, and dreaming of their future together. Years passed, and Amaka and Neoma's lives took different paths. Neoma met and fell in love with a kind-hearted man named Ikenna. They got married in a beautiful traditional ceremony, surrounded by friends, family, and the entire village. Amaka served as Neoma's chief bridesmaid and was overjoyed to see her dear friend happy. However, a seed of jealousy had been planted in Amaka's heart. She couldn't help but feel envious of Neoma's good fortune. As time went on, Amaka's jealousy grew, consuming her thoughts and actions. She began to plot against her dear friend, seeking a way to destroy Neoma's happiness and claim Ikenna for herself. One fateful night, under the light of a full moon, Amaka sneaked into Neoma's house, her heart filled with malice. She found Neoma sleeping peacefully, and with a swift and deadly strike, she squeezed life out of her best friend's life, thinking that no one had seen her, not knowing that little Emma saw her, but didn't know if anybody would believe her. With Neoma gone, Amaka quickly set her sights on Ikenna. She feigned grief and sorrow, playing the role of the devastated friend. Ikenna, blinded by his own grief, didn't notice Amaka's true intentions. As the days passed, Amaka grew closer to Ikenna, using her charm and beauty to manipulate him. Eventually, Ikenna, still reeling from his loss, agreed to marry Amaka. Neoma and Ikenna had a young daughter named Masinachi, popularly known as Emma. Emma was only 6 years old when her mother passed away. Amaka, who had become Ikenna's new wife, was tasked with caring for the young girl, Emma. But reverse was the case. However, Amaka's heart was filled with resentment towards Emma, who served as a constant reminder of her mother's presence. Amaka began to mistreat Emma, denying her food, beating her, and locking her up on a daily basis. As Emma grew older, Amaka continued to manipulate Ikenna, turning his eyes against his own daughter Emma and mother Ngozi. Amaka convinced Ikenna that Ma was a disobedient child, useless, and would die young just as her mother did. Amaka convinced Ikenna that Neoma's family are caused, and because of that they die early, and this made Ikenna to hate his daughter so much. Ikenna, blinded by her charms, began to believe Amaka's lies. He joined Amaka in maltreating Emma, leaving the young girl feeling unloved and unwanted. When Emma turned 10 years old, Amaka and Ikenna decided to throw her out of the house. They claimed she was a burden, a constant distraction in their marriage. Emma, with a heavy heart, left the only home she had ever known. She wandered the streets searching for her grandmother's house, asking anyone that cares to assist her. All Emma knows about her grandma was name, and with that she set to travel. Emma had only been to her grandma's house 4 years ago, but that was when her mother, Neoma, was still alive, and they travelled by car. But now she had to trek from Okbo down to Umuez, where her grandma stays. As Emma travelled, she encountered many kind strangers who took her in, fed her, and provided her with shelter. These acts of kindness gave her hope, reminding her that there was still good in the world. Ngozi, Emma's paternal grandmother, took Emma under her wings without confronting Ikenna, teaching her valuable skills such as farming, cooking, and healing. Emma proved to be a quick learner, eager to absorb knowledge and wisdom. Under Ngozi's guidance, Emma began to blossom. She gained confidence, developed a sense of purpose, and discovered her passion. Years passed, and Emma transformed from a vulnerable, lost child to a strong, capable young woman. She continued to learn and grow, expanding her skills and knowledge. Emma's transformation was nothing short of remarkable. She had grown into a stunning young woman with a radiant smile and piercing brown eyes. Her hair, once unkempt and tangled, now cascaded down her back in luscious dark waves. Emma's transformation went beyond her physical appearance. She had also developed a keen sense of business acumen, thanks to Ngozi's guidance. Emma had learned how to cultivate crops, raise livestock, and manage finances. She had become a savvy entrepreneur with a keen eye for opportunity. As Emma approached her 25th birthday, she began to feel restlessness. She knew that it was time for her to return to her father's house and face her former stepmother, and also claim her inheritance. Ngozi, sensing unease, sat her down for a heart-to-heart talk. My dear, I know you've been feeling the call of home. It's time for you to return to your to reclaim your heritage and make amends for the past. Emma nodded, feeling a mix of emotions, excitement, trepidation, and a hint of fear. What would she find when she returned? Would she be welcome back, or would they shun her? Ngozi, sensing Emma's doubts, placed a reassuring hand on her shoulder. Mama, you have grown into a remarkable young woman. You have a chance to make things right, to heal old wounds and forge new relationships. Don't let fear hold you back. Emma took a deep breath, feeling a sense of resolve wash over her. She knew that Mama was right. It was time to return home, to face her past, and forge a new future. The journey back home was long and arduous, but Emma was undaunted. She travelled by foot, carrying a small backpack with her belongings. As she walked, she felt a sense of peace settle over her, as if she was home already. When Emma arrived, she was struck by the changes that had taken place. The village had grown and prospered, with new buildings and businesses sprouting up everywhere. But despite the changes, the village still felt like home. Emma made her way to the village square, where she was greeted by a mixture of curious stares and warm smiles. Some of the villagers recognized her, while others didn't. But as Emma began to mingle, sharing stories and laughter, the villagers began to warm up to her. One person who didn't welcome Emma back with open arms was Amaka. Emma's former stepmother. She was still living in the village, still scheming and manipulating those around her. When she saw Emma, her eyes narrowed, her face twisted in a scowl. "What are you doing back here?" Amaka spat, her voice venomous. "You think you can just waltz back into my house after all these years? You're not welcome here." Emma stood tall, her eyes locked on Amaka's. "I've come back to reclaim my heritage," she said, her voice firm. "I've come back to make amends for the past." Amaka sneered, but Emma could see the faintest glimmer of fear in her eyes. Emma knew that she had the upper hand, that she had the power to expose Amaka's secrets and make her pay for all the pains she caused her. But Emma didn't want to resort to revenge or retaliation. Instead, she wanted to take the high road, to show Amaka and the rest of the village that she was a changed person, a person capable of forgiveness and compassion. Over the next few weeks, Emma settled back into village life. She helped out on the farms, participated in community events, and slowly began to rebuild relationships with the villagers. But Emma's greatest challenge lay ahead. She knew that she had to confront Amaka and demand justice for the wrongs she had suffered. The day of reckoning arrived sooner than Ma expected. As she was walking through the village, she came face to face with Amaka. The air was thick with tension as the two women locked eyes. "It's time for the truth to come out," Emma said, her voice firm. "It's time for you to confess to your crimes." Amaka sneered, but Emma could see the fear lurking beneath the surface. Emma knew that she had the power to bring Amaka to her knees to make her pay for her sins. But as Emma looked into Amaka's eyes, she saw something that gave her pause. She saw a glimmer of remorse, a hint of regret, and in that moment, Emma knew that she had a choice to make. She could choose to exact revenge to make Amaka pay for her sins, or she could choose to take the high road, to show Amaka that she was capable of forgiveness and compassion. Emma took a deep breath, weighing her options carefully. She thought back to all the pain and suffering Amaka had caused her, all the years of loneliness and hardship. But she also thought about the kindness of strangers, the love and support of her grandma Ngozi, and the villagers. As she stood there, frozen in indecision, Amaka spoke up. Her voice was low and husky, laced with a hint of desperation. "Ma, please," Amaka said, her eyes pleading. "I know I wronged you. I know I hurt you, but I was desperate. I was trapped. I didn't know what else to do." Emma's eyes narrowed, her heart hardening. She had heard excuses like this before, excuses that tried to justify the unjustifiable. "You were desperate," Emma repeated, her voice cold. "You were trapped. That's no excuse for what you did, Amaka. You killed my mother, your best friend. You destroyed my family. You took everything from me." Amaka flinched, her eyes dropping to the ground. Emma could see the shame and guilt written all over her face, but she couldn't bring herself to feel any pity.